Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rita as usual, and today I'm hosting a friend of mine, and we're going to be having a little bit of a conversation, which I really hope is going to be exciting for this generation. This person is woke. You're welcome. But before we get into the conversation, I would really love it if you subscribe to this channel, give us a comment on what you think about whatever we're going to be talking about today, your contributions, and share. You never know who could really tap into this and enjoy a good conversation on a good, me time. So without wasting so much of your time as you're subscribing, it's a free thing to do. The red button below this video is free. Please make sure to subscribe and let's get into the video. Hi,
Hi, Rita.
how are you, Brenda?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am well, thanks for asking. So I did not say your name or anything not because I don't know both your names, but because I want you to tell them who you are, like who is Brenda. I could just say, oh, she's just this, and then maybe you're more than that or you're less than that. So let us know who Brenda is.
Okay. First of all, I have only two names. Unfortunately, I didn't get a middle name, but it's Brenda Ahurira. Who am I? That's quite a very big question. I
Yeah.
do not know. I always ask myself, actually, every now and then, if anyone asks you, who are you? So, Brenda Ahurira, born and raised partially in Rukunjiri, Bugangali. So, I'm a Muchiga Muhoro from
I could
Rukunjiri.
tell from your nose.
It's so big. they have smaller doors.
No,
like
thanks.
they
It's not
do.
big. Yeah.
They do. Actually, I feel like it's bigger now. But
Just give us the news if you want to break them. Okay.
no,
Mohororo.
it's just that.
Yeah.
Apart from that, of course, I was born there in Rukunjiri. Then we moved to Mbara. So right now, if I tell you I'm going to up country, if I tell you I'm going home,
Yeah.
I'll be going to see my mom
In
in
Bara.
Mbara. Yeah. So more about me, Brenda, firstborn child.
Firstborn daughter.
Yes.
Millennial.
Most times when you say firstborn daughter, they think there is maybe a boy somewhere. But firstborn child,
No, let me tell you, man.
Yeah.
Being a firstborn daughter,
African.
top tier.
African.
You people need some squeeze.
You've seen those things where they say if you meet a firstborn daughter, just squeeze them.
Something in their hand.
In their
It's
hands.
not
Or
that easy. It's
actually
hard.
hug them.
Yeah,
them.
it's easier. I don't know if anyone wants to like differ. I would really be welcome to the suggestion. But I feel like it's easier on the firstborn boys and until they are grown. Yeah, when they grow, now they come back to lift up. But the firstborn daughter,
Yeah, from day one.
from day one, the moment you become the firstborn daughter, yeah,
Yeah, you're actually deputy mom.
you're welcome.
I think.
Yeah.
You're deputy mom. Yeah. So that is me. And of course, as we go on through this conversation, you'll understand how that has shaped me. I think
Yeah.
God knew for me to get wherever I had to be that. He had
Yeah.
to give me that responsibility at birth. So I think I've carried it on with grace. And
It shows from your skin.
thank you. I think I have carried it on with grace, and it has shaped me.
Yeah.
I love what has made me. It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy responsibility to handle.
Yeah.
But I somehow stand out in a certain way I don't think I would have if I wasn't that.
Oh, that's nice. So Brenda, born and raised in Rukunjiri, maybe Anbara, but originally from Rukunjiri. That's nice. So I would want to know, bring us, maybe first take us back to Rukunjiri. How was it growing up? How was little Brenda growing up?
Little Brenda.
What was a typical day like?
A typical day. First of all, if you've been to the West, you know we have like a very fertile place,
Yeah.
which means there's a lot of fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a typical day would be if there is no school, wake up, go fetch water, we had like a communal place. We had like a communal well.
Yeah.
So you go fetch the water, then bring it back home. I sometime had to live with my grandmother, so that's where that part came in. Of course,
Yeah.
you're the muzukulu. You're her first muzukulu, from the firstborn child to your parents, then to her
Now the
eldest,
first, yeah.
her eldest grandchild. So wake up, go fetch water, come back home. Breakfast is ready. Of course, porridge.
Yeah. And maybe potatoes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Someone would say cornmeal, but it is the white porridge, the maize porridge.
Cornmeal. You people. You people. I know we have grown, but let us give the things with their respect. It is poshorik. Nakashira kakahunga. Which one is cornmeal? Maize flour. When you say cornmeal, it becomes too much white.
You're a chef. You should be doing what? You should be educating us more.
I know. When I am explaining to someone outside of the island, the continent,
Yes.
it's cornmeal.
Yes.
When you're back here, if you don't understand Nshima, if you don't understand posho, ugali, kahunga, it's your job.
Oh, yes.
My babes, it's your job now.
So that was one of the common breakfasts, because our parents knew that it was a heavy.
Yeah.
You needed something heavy to go around. You're a child. You
The
play
day.
so much. They would actually keep like a flask
Of
that,
porridge,
so
yeah.
that as you go around and play. But of
Come
course, like
back.
we talked about, you're a girl
Yeah.
in an African home. You don't just go and play. You have to work.
Yeah.
It's housework. You have to work, and weekends were for collecting firewood. I think I enjoyed those, because where we
Kushenya.
collected firewood
Yeah.
from, there were hot springs. Yes, there were hot
So
springs.
while your peers were swimming in cold streams, you people were swimming in hot springs.
There were streams, there were hot springs. I think that's one of the best memories I have from my childhood. Enjoying that nature.
Yeah.
Like, every time I see people telling me, hey, can you take a trip? Can you pay 800,000 to take a trip to the west to go see the hot springs?
And they're like, maybe if I'm asleep.
Yeah. I would just go just for just. Maybe it has changed now. So, of course, the fruits on that, as you go and collect the firewood.
Yeah.
The fruits. And remember, growing up, everything was easy to share. No one would attack you for picking stuff from their garden.
From their garden or their
Plus,
farm.
these fruits would be anywhere where you're collecting firewood from.
Yeah.
So you go pick some fruits, you go collect firewood, put it there, and first swim. Enjoy the hot springs.
First tell me, was, you know how they send you for water? You find your friends. We used to have our games we used to play on top of the well. Yeah. And you find the company is really entertaining. There's some older siblings or older girls who are washing on the side of the well. Yes. And then the younger ones are playing and just fetching water to the side of where they're washing. I don't know if you can get the picture. Yes, and then you join in when you get back home.
Yeah, I somehow think... I didn't tell you this. I'm the shortest in our family. So every time I'm asked why, I'm like, man, the chiboko I got for something like that, I think it's kind of cut off my height somehow. Because what would happen? And the thing is, you would know.
Yeah, you would.
You'd prepare yourself mentally. Sometimes you'd actually go wear something more under the dress.
Yeah.
You'd go wear maybe some shorts or something, because you know what's coming for you. And of course, that was guaranteed.
Let's first jump from Rukunjidi to here. How would you react if that was your child?
If that was my child, how would I react? I've sent you for water.
Yeah.
You probably need to cook, and you're there playing. I think I'm still going to raise my future children the same way. I think I still have the iron hand. I think I inherited it from my mom.
I have a support group. Our children are going to hear from us. Abel, do you know? The other day, I think I've already told you this, that there's a time I was in therapy and my therapist was, I think, trying to tell me that it was not okay for my parents or my guardians to actually beat me that much. But even when I understand that it was them failing to control their emotions and being violent, and I still feel like if they had not, I'd still be at the way playing.
But you also, when you look at the living setup here, for example, in Kampala,
Yeah.
everyone is in their gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even their
Even those that
apartments.
are not in the gate, even those that are in other, places,
Yeah.
still there is that ownership of my child. Like, you don't move to here, you don't cross over to neighbor so and so,
Yeah.
you cannot cross from your gate to the next gate. You can't let your kid cross
Yeah.
over to the next gate. But the other side, the village life, it's open. If
Like
you
we could
do
even
not
go miles to just
discipline
go
your
and
kid,
fetch.
if you do not discipline your kid, they're definitely going to pick up all sorts of manners from
Everywhere.
everywhere. Plus, there's a certain stage that you just can't talk. I don't think at that time would listen.
Yeah, I think usually between 9 and 15. Between 9 and 15,
9 and 15.
it's
Yeah.
just too much.
Plus, I think also how our parents were raised.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's now phasing out a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think your child's child is going to beat
Or
their
slapping
child
or even shout at
or
them.
something. Yeah. So
I don't
I think
think
it was
so.
carried forward from their past generations. Please, I'm not saying I'm going to batter my children, yeah, but
It's not about that, but you see, most of the times I usually tell people anything you do has a consequence.
yes,
You could go around. Actually, this one my mom used to tell me. You could go around and be a girl. Everyone's going to tell you. Growing up, people used to tell me I had cute eyes. That was my only benchmark. Like, oh my God, she has cute eyes. I carried that one. If anyone talked about my legs, your business, man. You talk about my waist, your business. The eyes are doing the job. You're welcome. So she would tell me, they're going to tell you these things.
Yeah.
And then you'll go on ahead to want to please them and pay the favors and everything. And the world will forgive you. We will say, it's okay, it was a mistake.
Yeah,
But guess who will be home taking care of the child at 14? It's still going to be you.
yeah, definitely.
So the world will forgive you, but not your mistakes. You still have to carry on with the consequences.
Sure.
If you go and jump over the fence and it cuts you, we're going to be sorry. We'll actually forgive you. You are trying to jump off the fence and we'll forgive you. But guess who's stuck with us? A scar that could even become a keloid at some point.
Yeah.
It's you.
It's you.
So most of the times, and I understand, or I'm glad that we are fostering this generation, in as much as I personally would still raise my voice, raise my hand at my children. We also talk. I also talk. I want to let them know that when you do this, this is what happens.
Yes,
No, that don't do this. Like when we were growing up, it was like you do not talk to boys. Period. But why?
But why? Actually, yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. That maybe that's why they used to beat us a lot.
Yeah.
Because they would
Like
not
you
tell
had
you why
to
you
know
shouldn't
the
do
rule.
something. They wouldn't tell you the consequences.
Yeah.
So we knew a lot of don't. We didn't know the why. So we were always very curious. You want to find out. Just tell a child, don't touch that. They will definitely
Don't touch fire.
it.
It's going
they
to.
will. So that's the difference. Today, how we can, I think, do it better is by telling the kids
Why?
you shouldn't.
Why?
Yeah. So something will change, but still, there are those children. Those children that.
Hi, Ruby. I know you're going to watch this when you're old. I really know you're going to watch this. But, my babes, you're giving me a run for my money.
So, yeah. What else from my childhood, really?
So, like going to school, how was it? Lunch? Did you guys also like to take food from
Yes,
home?
we used to park. And of course, we had like thieves.
Yeah,
in school.
somehow.
Yeah, we'd have those kids that wouldn't pack lunch, and then we had a room where I would keep
Yeah, store.
Yes, we had a room. So if you're lucky and you find your lunch untampered with, if you're lucky and you find your lunch not eaten, Yeah, that day you'll have lunch. But that,
What?
yes, there's several days where you'd find your lunch missing.
Hey, I don't know. Where I grew up from, it was nearer. So every lunchtime I would go home, eat and come back. Go home, go change the goats, then go back to school because it was not far away from there. But I remember when I think I went in P5 because I left when my grandmother passed on in 2006. When I was in, I think I started taking food to school around P5, P6 there.
6. Yeah.
So we had a store person who would like stay at that place. You don't break in, you don't break out. Like only at lunchtime that store is opened. So we would have like groups of friends or people. We eat your food, we eat this one's food, like
Yes, we
that.
also ate in turns like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's different. From P5, that's when I started going home for lunch. P5, we were now closer.
Yeah.
Of course, primary was not in one school. I think I was in about 3 schools. I moved every time like a new school opened,
Yeah.
with a better standard.
You would move.
Azori's moved, not to brag, but as one of like the best kids of the village. So
You just did. You just bragged.
yeah, so schools would approach my parents and they would want me to join their school. So yeah, P5 I started going home. Then P7 I joined boarding for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
So of course there you have to eat school food.
Also, boarding was a new concept, I think, in the villages.
Yes, it was. It was new. It was hard to understand. I can't tell you that I remember so much about it. Like there was nothing really, really interesting that happened other than there's this one time I had chicken pox. You know, in the lower classes, I always prayed, can it please come? Like when I'm still younger, you know how they
The
assure us
scars
that
don't go.
everyone has to get chicken pox.
Yeah.
Too, you know. So I kept praying, and they did. And then P7, you're
Imagine
entering, you're
praying to
cool,
get chicken.
like you're growing up a bit.
Yeah.
You're growing
In
up a
fact, most of
bit.
us were teens, like 13.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you're entering your cool girl era, like at that time, and
Chicken pox.
yeah,
Bam.
chicken pox.
How was
Kids as in
it?
boarding. I had a friend who I've not seen ever since P7. She was called Rachel. She took care of me. Of course, they called mom. She came through. But still, it didn't. You still had to be at school because you're in P7. You're a
Yeah,
candidate.
a candidate.
You have all these white marks. The medicine they've put on
Yes.
you. You're
The
moving
medicine.
around.
What was the name of this medicine?
I don't remember. But it
Did
was
you ever get mumps?
No,
Do you know mumps?
I do, but I never get it. But
Amashambanzira, amashiro.
I'm not sure.
Like I think they're also called mumps. They are inflamed. It's a viral infection. So when they're inflamed, you're like this. You can't eat well. There's too much fever. It's just too much. So they used to put like enzerozenyung.
Thank God I never got that.
So they would put this that if you go on the road and someone laughs at how you look, they would. Mane, those things used to
These
work.
never work.
Yes.
You follow up and
if
see
you
someone
met
got
someone,
them.
of course, it was an infection that was really, really contagious.
Yeah.
So if it broke out in a village, most of
Everyone
the people would
So you'd
get.
think when you're healing, you'd think someone else got them from
Yeah, from you. So, of course, it's managing the temperature. It's a viral infection, so chances are high there's no medicine. So they'll just put things on you, and then you go on the road, and when someone laughs at you, now they will get the mumps. But really, it's because they were in proximity.
Yeah, it's because they were in contact with
Yeah, they were in contact or they were close. So,
yes.
Bambi, you didn't have to laugh at this person.
So I thank God I did because I was crying over the white marks of the
Yeah.
chicken pox. I can imagine if I had that black
Black face and a swollen
and yeah.
cheek like this, moving around to school to make someone at least laugh so it can go away from you. I also really love how we used to believe things.
Yeah, but you know they had to. I think our parents were really creative to protect us from certain things.
Yeah, when you look at it, our parents are almost descendants of Civil War veterans. Yeah, the grandparents are almost descendants of colonial victims. Yeah, colonialism victims. So if they were going to be taken away, maybe as slaves,
Yeah.
or maybe to fight in the world wars, or to work for the colonialists, the guys were not anywhere close to the word mercy. So there had to be rules. If they say you're digging the place marked R, that's it. Don't argue, don't do anything. So I think that's how they grew their children, not to be free, not to go in the farms and forage and pick things that are not yours or anything, so that they don't get beaten. The reason you said for us we are doing better is because our parents are grandparents of those descendants, so they still have an iron hand, but that world no longer exists.
Yeah, definitely.
So the Gen Z will work in business. You're the one who told me I don't like Gen Z.
You're
I really
attacking the
love
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z. I really love Gen
You're
Z.
attacking those guys.
Those guys are like living our ancestors' wildest dreams. Now look at the alphas. I have a 2.5-year-old, the Reba I was talking about. But if she tells you she doesn't want that jacket,
She doesn't.
it doesn't care. She doesn't care if it's
Do you ever ask her why?
storming. Of course, you ask, why don't you want the jacket? She says, I don't want the jacket. I want to put on the dress only.
Interesting. I always like to hear those kids' responses.
Like, I think, you know how they say, no is a full sentence? Like,
Yes,
if I say no, it means I don't want, and I even have to explain to you why. The same thing happens. You say, you eat this food. She's like, I'm tired of this food. I don't want to eat this food. And then, for example, my son, I'll tell him, this one is good for your bones, this one, and she's like, is it going to make me tall? Yeah, then he will
Oh,
eat.
it still works.
Yeah. It used to work for you too?
It used to work, but
Oh.
it didn't work for me. I'm still short.
Of course. Those things I was telling you of beliefs,
No,
how we used to believe in
yes,
things,
yes.
of how if they wanted us to,
To believe. I think they
Yeah.
were more practical.
yeah,
For
like get you to
example-
do things without actually beating you.
For example, one of the things that really, really worked that I don't even know how today it's done.
Yeah.
Those days would watch. I used to go and watch plays. Our place had like a field, like where we'd go. There's a church, so we'd go and watch plays, like live plays. I think my sister's
Emzano,
godfather. Yes. I don't know if you know the Rugo actors.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
The director is my sister's godfather.
Oh,
So we'd
that's
go
nice.
to watch those plays, and they would exaggerate how HIV makes someone look. They'd have those dots. They'd use like markers, black
Yeah.
markers, and they put dots.
Charcoal,
on someone.
actually.
Yes, or charcoal. You would fear. You'd actually think if a boy touched you, you'd be sick. But that was the best thing they could do at that time.
Yeah,
Scare
because
us in the best way possible.
In the best way
and it
possible.
worked.
It did.
It worked.
Most of the things, let me say, like saying your mother-in-law's name, it wasn't allowed. But nowadays, I watch, say, for example, I still don't, like I will not
think
call
you still
her
don't.
her name or anything. It was just a way of respecting people. You do not call an older person, hey, you were Jennifer. Like, no, you do not do that. As a kid, you have to find out of addressing this old person. And if you don't, then apparently your teeth will fall out or something like that. So you'd be scared, but also do the right thing, though without understanding. But now you watch a movie and someone is like, I'm going to so-and-so's house. And they're like, hi, Pressy. And this is like their mother-in-law. They're like, wait, Aibo, you cannot survive in my village.
But it's still not happening. In Uganda, at least in Uganda.
Yeah, in Uganda, we are
can't.
we are still
In the
cool.
Western world, it's still...
But if you find corporates,
Yeah.
you know, like how you go to a bank, your mother-in-law is not there or your father-in-law is not there, and they ask you, what is this person's name?
Or you can say it.
Back in the day, they could never.
Are you serious?
They could not allow that name pass their mouth. But now it's like, it's easy. This is the
Yeah,
name.
it's now easier.
Yeah, it's
Much
now
as you
easier.
can say to their face. Much
Yeah,
as you cannot
not
call
even in
them.
public of, oh, so-and-so. No.
You can't.
Yeah.
I wonder how people call their mothers-in-law.
Mama, depending on what you find them,
On your
the family.
relationship, plus also your relationship with her.
No, I don't really think so, because most of the times we're inclined to really have a relationship with them. We want or we don't, because you're in her family. You corrected yourself and came from where you are, and you took away
accepted.
her child. So now you're part of the family
Yes,
by
yes,
default.
yeah.
Whatever they call her, that's what you adopt. If they call her by her name, then you call her mama or something else. or kaka, whatever they call in the
Whatever they
family.
call. No, of course, when you get the grandkids,
Yeah.
it becomes easier.
It
You can
becomes
even say,
easier.
oh, go to grandma, or
But otherwise, it's mama
yes,
or
yes,
mama, of
yes.
course. So it's those beliefs that we used to have growing up. I remember when HIV had come.
Had come. I think we found it, of course, but maybe the time we learnt about it.
Yeah, we learned about HIV. Yeah, I think I also found HIV.
Yes, people before us really died so bad.
Yeah. Now imagine all these diseases collecting in one person because of a single virus that entered and broke down all the cells. And it was through this path back in the day, most of the people would not even believe that they could actually get HIV from like blood transfer, a cat, or anything else. And it was this small, pleasurable act that teenagers are really, really into
Of
experimenting or
course, at that time the
experiencing.
hormones are really high.
Yeah. If they don't tell you, if they don't show you that this is what happens. But now you don't even have to tell a Gen Z or anyone that HIV is really that bad. In fact, they are now more scared of cancer than HIV. If
Yeah,
anything,
maybe it's not killing people the way it used to.
it used to.
Yes.
Because now there's a way someone can keep their immunity high. If
I'd
you
forgotten you're a nurse. I'm sorry.
there's a way the medicine is there, it's free, ARVs. But cancer, by the time you test cancer positive anytime now, it's been growing for years.
But
You didn't
again,
know.
no matter how much we are told today, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
We still do it.
Yeah,
Compared
that's
to-
human nature.
Compared to then, I think for HIV, people were really scared. They watched people die in numbers, in big numbers. At least every
see,
family
Yeah,
lost
lost.
someone to that.
In fact,
so they
to-
had to find the most dramatic ways to
Like curb
teach
it,
us
put
to-
it down.
Yeah, not scare us actually. Our parents were not comfortable saying certain things to us.
Yeah.
So they would rather use actions.
Like, for example, I remember when my grandmother, like growing up, I grew up with my grandmother, my dad's distant singer, like cousin singer, something like that. So she had one daughter, so she didn't have many children at home.
yes.
And they stayed in Kampala. It's so hard for people in Kampala to give back their children to stay in the village, so it's always us. So I stayed with her, and she really, really loved me, Bambi. And she told me about things like my period. I would reach a point, I think I was around 7, 8. She sat us down. We had this tradition in the night where I would sit down, no manyorgari. Like a flat basket, woven basket, we'd put their groundnuts and then put a lamp in the middle, and then we'd all be opening until we come into the center and all of them are done. So it would take long, like we'd have our dinner at 7, so we'd finish that thing like at 10. So from that time, I remember she told me, and I had a friend, another person I was staying with, Prosi, and she told us how a time would come and uncontrollable blood would flow. And then, I mean, as we are grown, if we do anything, we can get pregnant. So many things, like she told us the detail.
Yeah.
But when I had my period, I saw my mom fidgeting.
To tell you about
Yeah,
it.
to even like tell me. But I already knew what to
already
do.
knew.
She's like, why didn't you tell me? But I knew what to do. But like she was still fidgeting in that moment.
Yeah.
I wonder why. And I was one of those lucky people who got my grandmother to tell me about the details,
Before, yes.
of things. And how was it like for you?
I think me as lucky enough to have heard about it from school. We
Yeah.
had those people they used to call senior women.
Yeah, yes.
They had, we always had those girls, girl talk.
Yeah.
Like should first gather girls at a certain time or girls of a certain age, like from P5 to,
Yeah, to P7.
Yeah, because I got mine in P5 as
Oh,
really
wow.
young. Yes. So she would do that. I think I had the chance to learn from that. But of
Do you know what they
course-
told us?
What?
That that girls who had their period when they were young were not hardworking.
Oh, God.
They were always seated there being feminine and
God.
just
Oh,
being there.
God. I wish they knew. I wish they knew that we worked in the morning before we went to class. So yeah, I had that chance, but still, no one prepares you mentally
Yeah.
for that. no one prepares you mentally for that. And we were lucky to have that, the hygiene, them teaching us about hygiene. So by the time it started, I was only with my dad.
Oh my
I
God.
was so unlucky. Mom wasn't around at that point. She had traveled, and then, yeah, but there were pads in
In the
the sanitary
house.
towels were in the house. All he did is quieted him, and like he didn't want to talk much about it. He
Yeah.
just asked me, "Do you know what it is?" I said yes, because they'd already showed us at school.
Yeah.
He didn't look at me like in the face. He just
Quiet.
gave it to me like quieted,
Wow, good.
like.
Oh dear.
Yes, but I knew what to do. But thank God they were there. So
Yeah, and I thank God they were there,
yeah,
because
thank God they were
my
there.
case, they were not.
So I was not freaked out. I was already aware. I'd already been taught what to do, how you have to.
We thank God for schools.
Yeah, for schools, and I think even today most kids learn from school. It's
Yeah.
very
Most kids learn from school, but also I feel like millennial parents. I'm sorry, I'm going to use those terms because I have tried to educate myself about the characteristics, so I know how to relate with a
ones.
boomer, I know how to relate with a Gen Z, an alpha, or a beta, or anything like that. So I feel like millennials are more open. We are going down in history as the generation that tried to change things for the better, to make it a platform. Because every time I'm on like online, I see someone, no one prepares you for this. I'm like, and then you will do what?
Of course, you have to change. You have to change.
For you have to adopt. You have to go through something for you to be able to learn. No one prepares you for being a mom. No one was supposed to do it. It was your job now. It was your business. You were supposed to prepare yourself for that. But I feel like millennials have taken it upon themselves to make the ground even.
We are kind of making things common.
Yeah,
Like
things
some of the things we never used to talk about.
easy to talk about.
Yes, we are
Like
making it
you'll find podcasts that are talking about sex. You'll find people talking about uh, in-laws.
Yes.
Like you find someone talking about marriage.
Yes.
For example, back in the day, it was if you have left this house,
Yes.
this house here,
Yes.
you can't return. And that's why people were crying and wailing, because it was too much the other side and you had nowhere to run.
Most
But
likely
here,
arranged or something. Today I think it's upon us to
Yeah.
create. I always, as you get to know more about my story, I believe to change the world, you yourself, you have to do something to make it better.
Yeah.
You cannot wait for your neighbor. You cannot wait for someone else.
Yes.
You as you, what are you doing to create a better world to live in? You who's raising the children. How are you raising the better human beings to relate with, like for the rest of the people who are going to live with your children? So making it common, us talking about certain things now to make them common so that there is information out there. Today,
Yeah.
today you don't die like because of lack of information.
but also the other thing I've noticed is, if there are other activists, please go in the villages. You see, me, I don't have time now. I'm cooking. But if you get time, the reason I invite you guys is so that if any other person ever collects a chance to say, let me go on African internet, I will find stories of Black African women. How did they grow up? Because now we are women, we are no longer children. Most millennials are approaching their 30s and some of them living the 30s. Turned 30 in August. Jesus, when did that happen? But like, these are not meant to say maybe make money or anything. It's for us to share our experiences so that if anyone ever comes back 50 years from now, they can be able to, oh, this is how these guys were experiencing life. Because most of these things will be now in the books. And us with reading. Maybe they'll be able to read. But listening to us talk about our experiences is going to make sense. But I've also realized there are Gen Z in the village who are living and acting like boomers. Like the information hasn't disseminated to that level.
True. And but you can't stop sharing as well.
Yeah, we can't. We still do.
You can't stop sharing. The internet is spreading. The use of smartphones is spreading gradually, but eventually it will get there. Hopefully it can change.
And I'll be glad we'll be there to share our experiences.
Yeah, so I think actually speaking of that, how you've said that 50 years from now, or 20 years, or how many years from now, people should come back to this and know how we lived. As I saw someone who was writing like African proverbs, Runyankwe Ruchiga proverbs.
I have a book here.
The documenting them for that purpose. I love those proverbs. I love to always go back and look at them. So every time I speak to my mom and I tell her proverb, a Runyankwele proverb, Runyankwele Ruchiga proverb, she's always impressed. She's like, oh,
Wow.
the culture still lives. Like, she's always impressed. So it's very important, of course, right now in this the time we are living in right now. If you can't write it, you have to document it.
Yeah, you have to document
you
it.
have to document it, and we do not have the story sharing we used to have before.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is the only
in
way.
fact, I'm so glad you're here. I feel like giving people platform. Yes, we have seen how you have grown up and how this has shaped you. But now, who Brenda is right now, because the very first time we met, we were talking about something you're doing right now that I really felt like was a safe space for us, because in as much as there's still a stereotype back in our villages where we come from of this is what things are like, this is what we do, this is how things are done, we also have a generation of like, why must I greet you? Because you're my uncle. I don't feel like greeting you. And that's okay.
That's
Like
okay.
that should be okay. But it's unheard of in our village that you refuse to greet your uncle because you feel like your energy is not aligned. What do you mean? Are you a witch doctor or what? You get, you get
I
like
know.
how they say children are literally angels. They can sense
They
energy.
can sense energy. True.
But growing up, they will beat you until you greet this
don't.
person and even eat in their house, even when you know this is bad and this is evil or this person's intention. They would. But now it's like, if he doesn't greet you, Mamute.
Yeah, of course. Today everyone is on their own. Today it's me, my wife, and my
My
wife,
children.
and my children.
Yeah.
That's how it is today. So you find that there is so much knowledge or information that is going to just die with people.
Yeah.
So things like these podcasts, the YouTube channels, if we become as authentic as we can be,
Yeah.
and not maybe just keep sharing the Western world, way of thinking, and we share what being a Ugandan is, growing up in a Ugandan home. How is it like? If we become authentic and we share all those stories, I think it will help.
I really
some
hope this space can help do that. It may not be me doing it, but maybe a platform where people can easily just share their childhood, lessons they have learned from their childhood, so that if anyone ever falls on this video anywhere on the internet, because I'm not sure if the internet is going to get lost, and if it does, usually there are people who have a sharp eye and an idol, so they always document these things.
Yes, yes.
They can write them down, they can get them off the internet if the stories are out there.
Yes.
So you've gone to high school, yeah? You went to senior secondary school.
Secondary, yeah, not international.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
go
the
to high
normal.
school, and how was high school?
High school. High school was actually interesting for me. Like I've talked about today, people being with just their parents. But
Yeah.
as raised by different people, like aunties, uncles, there's that whole African setting, and
Yeah.
the relationships were still really amazing. You could still go to your auntie, you could still go to your uncle.
Oh my
And,
God, we are going to have this conversation. Thank you.
So yeah, high school for me was quite. The beginning was quite challenging because at the beginning of high school is when my parents separated. Yeah, so as used to having dad and mom
At
together.
home, yeah.
It's now new. We, of course, as the main common thing is you stay with your mother.
Yeah.
So you're now not a child of daddy and mommy. You're now a single mother's
Child.
and of course there are stereotypes about that.
Yeah.
Those girls are different. They're raised. They think they don't need men. Please, it's different for everyone. So yeah.
I also would want maybe to disseminate that information and understand. You know,
understand.
as children or maybe as human beings, we see, then we do.
Yes.
We do, then we learn. Then from this learning, we redo and then teach.
True.
You get?
True, true.
So there's a time I was having I don't think it was my husband. I think it was someone else. If you're going to get married, for example, this is a lifetime, whatever. Okay, at least in the African setup, now it's a
Yes,
lifetime
yes,
thing.
it's a lifetime
That
thing.
you're going to get married, and this is an only child to a single parent.
Yes.
What do you expect?
Of course, people, you have to understand that if someone is not in that very situation, it's very hard. There are very few people that take keen interest in learning how everyone was raised, how.
But you see how if okay, I think the more we interest ourselves in educating ourselves, the better and easier life becomes.
Yes,
And I
yes,
think
yes,
we
yes.
should push that narrative of educate yourself, then come
Educate
out
yourself,
later on.
educate.
For example, I didn't grow up in a household that had a husband. If my husband expects me to treat him as a husband, he's lying. It is too much expectation on me as a single person. It's now my job to
Yeah.
go and lean more on my feminine and be like, oh, if he does not buy food at home, it's not my job to get out there and look for a job immediately because my mom did it. You know, I could
You let the
survive.
man be the
I would
man.
live.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when you keep on taking away his masculinity, he also repels. Oh, ya bikolo, ya bikola, ya bisobola. So if you do not understand where things are coming from, that this is a woman who has grown up with a mother only.
Yes.
Clearly, the mom has fended for the family.
Yes.
So she knows because she has seen, she has learned, and it's now time to do.
It's time to do.
Yeah,
yes.
if you don't give her grace and maybe time to understand or talk about this information, she will do. When you fall short, she does not have time to wait for you to do things or even beg you. Because to them, to us, it's begging. As a single parent child,
It's begging.
I'm begging you to buy me cream.
Yes.
But back in the day, men would leave the village and come to Kampala to make money to go back home and buy their woman a dress or a
True.
trim,
So, yeah,
a cream.
It's when you put it that way, I think one thing I appreciate about my mother is, even as they went through their separation, yeah, she never ever said anything negative
About your dad.
about our dad. She never
That's
told
nice.
us what happened, like why did they separate. She never told us, and she always told us about the beauty of marriage. We always watched her advise other people to stay in their marriages. We always watched her tell people to try until they cannot try anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what we learned from.
Yeah.
Did not. We did not.
Oh my God, men are evil.
No.
Yeah.
I
That's
never.
nice.
I don't think I've ever said the men are dogs, the men are evil. I never saw that. So our mom being a single mom, she played her part. Yeah. At some point, should sit us down and say, "I know I may not be enough. But
Yeah.
I'm trying my
Best.
best," and we appreciated that.
Yeah.
But her not showing us that we don't need a man, we don't need, because at the end of the day, you do not want your child to end up lonely.
Now that also comes because clearly, if you look at boomer parents,
Yeah.
they didn't do that. Most of the times, you'd find a woman was impregnated, and then the boy shows you that he doesn't want you, the family doesn't want you, but they will stay. Like where I grew up from, my mom, sorry to say, like they had showed her several times they did not appreciate her presence in family, but because we are here. Even when her husband passed on, right now that could never happen. It could never be me. You show me once you don't like me, I'm out. Thank you.
Yeah.
But in their generation, it's understandable.
True.
Yeah?
Yes.
And you can only give them grace because where does it stem that people, millennials would be dramatic baby mamas? If you look back, where do you think it would stem? It would stem from all the anger of their parent being rejected, especially the female parent being rejected, and she stays. And now it feels like their dad did not protect this woman enough. So men are bad people. So when they are
Yes.
coming at you, it's even the anger of unhealed femininity to get back.
Yes,
But you
yes, yes.
see, if you really, really heal yourself and tell yourself of maybe this person came short, but I am not short. Like I am not
True, true.
that.
You
Maybe you
actually,
don't even
yeah,
have
you
to
actually have
attack
to.
your.
But what you have to know is, Rita, you may have certain mental strength to understand and unpack
Yeah,
certain things that happened growing up.
yeah.
Yeah. There is someone who does not know that they
Who
are
doesn't
as
even know that their childhood even affects their adulthood?
yeah, there's someone who doesn't know. There is someone who will tell you, oh, as long as I get a child, I, I can make my own money and take care of this kid. I do not need.
And you see, when you enter a family like that with that mentality, it just doesn't leave.
Yeah, you.
It doesn't.
It's a cycle. It's a
Yeah.
cycle that keeps repeating. So anyway, yeah, that's how I started my high school with that bad news, and I had to. It was a new environment
Yeah.
now. Yeah, so moved on. Of course, as in denial the entire time. If there is a single mother or single parent's child anywhere there, they know you form stories. Like just have a certain picture in your head of my dad traveled, my dad went somewhere, they'll be
Yeah.
back. That's what you keep telling yourself to feel balanced, to feel
Yeah.
complete. But the actual thing is, there is no balance at home. There is your mother. She's trying all her best. So that's how it was. And of course, I'm so grateful to her family. It was so welcoming. They were so welcoming. They took us in after that bad separation and everything. They welcomed us and they took us as children. And of course, you have to go back to school. You have to continue school, not to go back to school. You have to continue to school with school.
Yeah.
So I had their support. I learned from them. The thing is, support is not just financial. It's not just someone
Giving you
giving
money
you.
or.
It is the presence of a male figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it is uncle this that telling you can't do this, a man is telling you can't do this. You need to behave like this as a woman, as a girl. You need to be. There is something they know that you don't know. So my mom's brothers, my mother's sisters, they welcomed us and they taught us so much and prepared us for a certain. Of course, they cannot do what your father would have done,
Yeah.
but they tried what they could, and then yeah, I continue S1 as in Bara at Ngab Academy. It was more of like an army school
Is it
before I
still there?
joined. I don't no, I think they moved it. I think it still exists. They moved it as there for senior one, then senior two, senior three. I moved to Gulu to live with my auntie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I lived in Gulu a bit. Then senior four, I came to Kampala in senior four. That is 2012. Yeah, that is where a whole mixture of cultures
Comes
happens.
in. Yeah.
Comes in. You're seeing this one, dad is dropping them at school. So at that point, if you do not stay true to yourself, you're going to get swamped in. So what happened to me, I had already accepted
Yeah.
my fate. At first, I kept waiting. Like senior one, I waited. Dad will come back. Dad will come back. I would watch movies that reunite families, that
Yeah.
had all those things. Dad will come back. But senior four, it had started sinking in. So
That man's is gone.
I decided I won't sit and sulk. I won't
Yeah.
sit and cry. How do I be happy? So I decided to be a very social person at that time. Social is, as once very tiny. So of course in school then, if you're tiny, you could actually be a model for your school activities. We had school activities. So I was like, you know what? Enough. I've been putting myself down as always in the room crying, as always, hoping for someone to save me, for something to happen. So I decided to find
Okay.
something else, like to put my energy in something else. So I would mod at school. I don't know if you remember those things of Miss Teens.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I would go for Miss Teens, do some modeling, and that's how I somehow let go of that hurtful part, but I did not heal. I did not like entirely heal at that point. I just packed it. Are we still on?
Yeah, we are still on.
Yeah, I did not like heal. I just packed it and decided to continue with my denial, my
Yeah.
delusion of, yeah, you're better.
It's gonna be
you're okay.
fine.
I didn't address it. And as we go on, you're going to see how that not unpacking, not accepting to feel that, hey, the man has walked. Like, he walked
And
out.
I think it's like I said, oh my God, you people don't cut my throat. But I feel like it's also a generational thing that we hold on to things. We do not, now when you look at the kids we are bringing forth,
Yes.
they don't care who you are. If you've done something that they do not agree with,
Yes.
chances are very high they will call you out.
True, true.
Like they will say, no, I don't like this, you're doing something wrong, or you just hurt me.
Yes.
When you be on places like TikTok, you'll hear a lot of videos or stories of people coming out now in their 30s, in their late 20s, talking about something that happened to them in their childhood. And you would ask, in fact, in the comment section, people always ask, what do you mean this happened for 14 years and you did not bother to tell anyone? You understand?
Yes, I understand.
But if, let's say you're a therapist or anyone who these people have come to, you'd never ask that question if you
True.
understood
If you understood.
the time they are coming from.
Yes, yes.
Back in the day, it was unheard of for someone to say their dad, their uncle touched them inappropriately. But now, baby, try it. Police,
Police.
you'll not even be allowed to do it twice.
You'll actually be on the internet.
Especially now in the areas that are like elevated with so much information.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it was a thing for us to like not really digest things.
Digest things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think even if I was young, I used to have journals. Like I used to write.
Oh wow.
I used to write I used to say, "Dear diary, today I don't feel good because ABCD." So I used to let out by writing. I used to let out. Or you go to the shower and open
And
the shower
cry.
and cry, so that when you come out of the shower, no one notices that you are crying. The eyes are wet because you're from
Baby.
showering. Yes. So it goes on. Senior 4, senior 5. Modeling, doing, like, of course, it's not the main thing at school, but to me,
Yeah.
it kind of gave me that confidence,
The freedom
that esteem, that
to just be.
yeah, to belong. I wanted to
Yeah.
belong. Yeah, I wanted to belong to a place. I wanted to have something. I wanted to have something that defines me. Yeah. So of course, up to senior 6, I think my best times in high school was senior 4, senior 5, and senior 6.
Yeah.
I was as myself. I was happy with myself. I was truly enjoying myself during that time. Yeah, so the years before it was quite hard. You know how parent separation kind of
Yeah.
affects kids.
And also in that time, it was really rare.
It was rare. It wasn't rare, but it was not talked
Yeah.
about.
Of
'Cause
course.
sometimes someone would get pissed and they're like, "Oh, go find your father," or something like.
You see, that's the thing with times and understanding times.
Yes.
Everything we are going through right now, if you go around and ask
Yes.
10 people,
Yes.
9 of them have gone through the same
True,
things.
True. Oh yes.
They
No,
just
now that you
will
say it that
not.
way, it wasn't that common.
Yeah, it wasn't common, or it was unheard of that your parents separated and they are not pretending to stay together. Like, what do you mean? Your parents actually packed
know.
their bags and left.
Yes.
So we come from that kind of background. It's just easy if we understand most of those for us to be able to move on.
True.
So campus.
Yeah, campus. Yeah, I think after high school, I joined MOOBS, Nakawa, the Nakawa branch, the main branch. And
Are you going to vote the JWB?
if they let us in, if We definitely will. So I joined MOOBS for a bachelor's degree in international business.
Yeah.
I always thought I would do law, but because of certain circumstances, I couldn't. I had to do what I had to go for something I could afford at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I joined campus. That's 2015. Then, of course, you know how it happens.
Yeah.
Mom's child, and yeah, first semester, no school fees.
Oh, wow.
So they have this thing where you withdraw from a semester instead of going back for semester two. Because I finished semester one, but I couldn't come back for semester two. So you withdraw and you tell them I'll come back in another academic year to continue, but in second semester. So I come back in a
Is that a dead year?
no, it's a withdrawal, like you've withdrawn from a semester.
Yeah.
I didn't get a whole year off. You just come back in another academic year, but in a second semester. In the semester you withdrew from.
Okay.
So that's when I go back, 2016. So, but after withdrawing, I definitely couldn't go back to Mbarara and sit
Yeah.
and look at my mom because I had told her, come rain, come sunshine,
I'm finishing.
coming back with your degree. So, yeah, I get out of uni for the first year, second semester. Then I go find work. What do you have in your CV?
Yeah, right.
Your form 6 what? Your form 6, your USCE slip. That's all you have.
Yeah.
You've never worked like for
A serious
someone,
job.
a serious job. But I loved to work, and I knew the reason why I was going to work. I was going to look for fees or something. So, yeah, I go look for work. It was hard as a little girl, very tiny and short. Everyone is looking at you like a child, like,
Yeah.
hey, aren't you like in your form 4 work? Aren't you like in your form 6 work? And you're like, no, I'm at uni, but I need to get back. So I need a job. So if you can give me a job,
Yeah.
I would work. I'd appreciate that. So I was given work by a gentleman called Harry at there's a company that was under Simba Telecom. It was called Telecom One. So I joined in. We are working. They were selling phones. If anyone knows me, they know how much I love gadgets. It's because that's what the workers doing.
Oh, yeah.
At campus, as selling phones, the accessories, as operating agent banking when it came in. I now moved from selling phones, but still under the same company, as now doing their agent banking, as like their agent banker. So, yeah, I kept doing it even when I went back to school. I kept.
How much are they paying, if you don't mind?
How much were they paying?
Yeah.
My first salary was 350,000.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, it was 350,000. But of course, the more you sold, you had commission on
Commission.
everything you sold. Yeah, and of course, if you get an address in Kampala, to work somewhere in Kampala, you have to be smart. You have to be creative. You won't just earn from that job. You need to look out for something else you can sell.
Yeah.
Yes, if you've gone suppliers, is there something else that is not at your shop that you could sell on the side and have something? Because that 350,000 cannot rent.
Pay
Cannot
tuition.
pay tuition.
Food.
Actually, everyone always asks me, how did you do it? So what I did, I told this my boss. I told him, when time comes for tuition, you'll be paying, like you give me a certain amount of money, and of course I would get something from mom as well to contribute for me. You give me a bigger percentage, then I'll top on, like I'll top it up with what mom would give me, and then go pay. And then as I work, I don't get all my salary.
Yeah.
They keep taking a certain amount. So of course it piled up even after uni. I had to still serve another year, like work there another year to clear up all the debts. So that's how it was. You end up doing a course of 3 years for 4 years. And
Oh my
of
God,
course,
yeah.
you come back, these other kids that joined after you, they're like, oh yeah, this person flunked, this person failed. That's why they're in our class. They do not know why
The
you're
hustle.
there. So yeah, I would go to work in the morning. By 7 a.m., I would be at work already. Then 5:30, I'd be in class till like 9:30. That is roughly 10.
Yeah.
And then head to Chireka. I stayed in Chireka at that time. Then yeah, that's how my uni was. There's nothing. You know how everyone is like, oh, campus there is this, there is
Yeah.
that.
The fun,
I
the
did
hustle.
not. I always some friends used to call me a robot. They're like, for you it is work, school, work, school, work, school. That's how it was. But again, remember we said what you go through, how you grow, kind of shapes you.
Who you are now,
Yes.
yeah.
So by the time I was done with uni, authority was not a new thing. Like you have a boss.
Yeah.
Obeying authority was not new. Being in a work environment was not new. So I didn't suffer the transition of you're now an adult, you're now on your own. I just moved on like, oh, you've graduated.
Yeah.
Yes, my mom was happy, of course. You've graduated, and yeah, but you still have to work. The hustle
Yeah.
has to, like the graduation day
Continue.
was just a day. It has happened. Of course, we had everything. I graduated, had dinner and everything, but back to
Work.
work. Because remember, you're the firstborn child,
Yes.
firstborn daughter. You now that you've graduated, somehow it registers that yeah, you now have to make home better. The same people, the same kids, the same siblings you left back home, you want to bring them to where you've come.
Yeah.
You understand? You want to, of course, as an empathetic person, first of all, as someone who is very thoughtful, I could not say I've crossed.
Yeah.
Me, I'm done. I'm done. I definitely have to continue with the hustle. Then continued taking care of my siblings, my mom, and I'm happy to say right now I have a vacist.
Oh,
Form
wow.
6
Well
vacist.
done.
Yeah.
Well done, really.
Yeah. So that's how campus was. There's nothing, like there is no much story from campus. Every time everyone is telling me about their stories about uni, I somehow can't relate because while they were out as in class or while they were for lunch during the day I was at work. So there is nothing much to tell about uni, but still I'm glad that I went through that. And
Yeah, sure. How did that shape you?
how that shaped
Looking
me.
at it now.
To appreciate it shaped me. It taught me how to appreciate life, how to get creative. So I didn't mention that even after class at 10 when I reached home I would make swimsuits out of thread.
Oh, crochet.
Yes, I used to do some
Do you still
crochet
do?
work. Not now because I don't have the time. I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
So it made me very enterprising. Anything you said, if you said, here there is bushera to sell, you'll make 5,000 off a carton.
Yeah,
Give it to
you'll
me.
do.
I'll sell it. So I was known for so many things, for the crochet, for the bushera, this sweet bushera
Yeah.
that was packed. I just started packing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then so how it shaped me. It made me very enterprising. Anyone that knows me knows that even if you call me at 2 a.m. and you have a business plan or a business talk, I'll be up to talk. Like that's how it made me. It made me able to look out for opportunities. It made me love to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I developed a spirit for work at a very young age. I loved to work, and I know that to get what I want, I need to
You
put
have
in
to
the
work.
So basically, that's how it shaped me.
It's so entertaining when you listen to how most, not really underprivileged, but for lack of a better word, how we all kind of froze.
Yeah.
It's like we said, no, we have already seen the road to success. Nothing
Nothing.
is going to stand between us. Because if I tell you how I came to Kampala,
Yeah.
it will be another day. You'll be like, what?
Yeah.
A nurse? You come here as a dancer?
I think
Okay.
I've watched your story.
Yeah.
That's how I got to know more about you from watching your story. You've shared
Yeah.
that on your YouTube.
When I was turning 28. So
Yes.
it kind of brings me now to the current Brenda. Because everything we have seen.
Yes.
Right now, people who know you, which I'm sure they are going to watch, chances are very high, they know you for something.
Yes. Yes.
How do we come to paint and chat?
Oh, Once again, Brenda Huira. Everyone, my friends like to say, Paint and Chat CEO, CEO Paint and Chat. Yeah, so I'm the founder of a one interesting company called Paint and Chat Uganda. How I came to that, first of all, what we do. Let me first say
Yeah.
what we do. We always host mental health events where we chill in a small space out in the gardens. We have some barbecue, we have a little soft drink, and then have some conversations, some heart-to-heart conversations. People share about their lives, people share how they go through day by day, how they handle the challenges that they face.
Yeah.
It's mainly the young people that that's our target market mainly. The
Is
young
it your
people.
target or is it them that are actually willing to look out for that?
It's them willing, but also I am trying to create a space I needed at a certain stage. For
Yeah.
example, at uni, I needed such a space where I would come in and share with people that I don't even know. And I didn't mention, we always have therapists there.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's very important to hear someone that has learned the human psychology tell you why you behave a certain way, why people behave a certain way, why ABCD happens to us. So I always wanted a space like that. I looked around Kampala. There's none. There's no space I could go and paint. I didn't mention we paint. Go talk to people, go hear from a therapist, someone that has studied about human psychology. I needed that. So I decided, why not create the space I needed? But it started last year in July. I wanted to start it before that, but I still had some healing to do.
Yeah.
Like childhood trauma, all those things that happen to us.
Yeah.
You cannot be wounded and try to
Dress another person's wound.
to help other people. I can't bring you in that space that I'm saying is safe.
Reminds me of a recent me myself.
Yeah, I can't.
That one auntie who came from Kampala for Christmas without anything
Yeah.
for Christmas. You've been in Kampala for a whole year and you didn't bring us, all of us, dresses and bags? What do you mean?
Exactly.
We are those aunties
We are
now.
those aunties now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I needed that space where people would do all that. And I couldn't find it. So after healing, after going through my process of accepting my pain, digesting it, if it meant crying, I cried.
Yeah.
If it meant addressing some people in my life that hurt me a certain way, I did. So when I was now ready, yeah, that is my birthday, 3 days after my birthday, is when I launched it last year. I was like, how would it be? Of course, there were so many people doing the painting aspect.
Yeah.
And I still needed to have it in my name to know that when we come, we shall talk, and then we shall do some interesting activity to rest,
Keep us.
to relax the brain,
Yeah.
and eat something and meet new people.
Get you out of your brain.
Yeah, get you out here. Come meet new people. Come continue with a human interaction that is dying out today.
Yeah.
Come and physically meet people, network, like hear from other people. So I decided, I remember I didn't have enough money to start it, but I said, you know what, I'm not going to keep postponing this. Let me just get it started. So I launched in July, and our launch was amazing. I had a very supportive team. My friends were really supportive, my family, everyone was really supportive. So I launched, and we go on, have the next edition, the first edition, we have the second edition, we have the third edition. On the
When do I
18th.
come in?
When do you come in?
Yeah, third or second?
Second, I think that. When do you come in to join us?
The first time we
The
ever
first time
talked.
we met was the second edition.
The second edition.
Yeah, I was organizing for the second edition, the one that happened last year in November.
Yeah.
And then I reached out to you. Actually came here and hijacked your cooking class. Thanks to you, I now know how to make curry, chicken curry, and naan.
I need my money.
We're making the money to come.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's when you come in. I meet you. And I think at first you're a tough cookie. And I was like, there's something. there is something. I kept pushing you, pushing you, pushing you, and
I wonder why people always say that.
yeah,
Um, I had a student. I know she'll watch this. One time she says, "Rita, you're such an Oreo biscuit." And I'm like, what do you mean I'm such an Oreo biscuit? I think something had happened, and I think she saw me break down or something.
Yeah.
She's like, you're one of the people who are so tough in the beginning. Oh my God, if someone doesn't know you, they will be scared to talk to you. You're so intimidating without even speaking. But when someone gets to know you, baby, you're just the cream in between the cookie. And I'm like, I don't even like Oreos, so.
no, but still, yeah. You kept telling me, I feel safe with you. I feel you're not a threat. That's what you told me.
Did I say a threat? No.
Yes.
I'm one of those people, by the way, that I feel like if the things about lives is actually true, I feel like I'm in my second or third life.
Yeah.
And in my past life, I was like a foreteller or like a witch or something like
what you
that.
think you are.
Yeah, not a bad person, not a bad
Not a
witch.
bad witch.
Even when you read those things of zodiacs and stuff,
Yes, that's what it says.
I'm one of the good Leos. Like, I'm one of the people, you come in my space, I'm going to make you feel good about yourself.
Yes.
Something you did not even realize about yourself, you may get to know about it yourself. So I feel like I was one of the good witches in my past life. Now I'm just a cook, okay? Okay? And I'm dealing with Gen Z, so please.
You have to.
So I feel like I always read energy.
Oh yes, that's what you said. You try to read. You really try to read. The my talk.
I read energy. Like, I will know when someone is off. The bad thing is, in as much as I will know someone's energy is off,
Yes.
I will know someone is lying to me. I will know someone is pretending. Someone is doing something with an intention. The chances
There
have
is a hidden
proved
agenda
so high that these people are doing things from a point of their unhealed point that they don't even notice.
They're coming to bleed on you.
Yeah, they just do not or never actually notice
Yes.
that someone is telling you something, a story, for example, and I know why you're telling me that story. It's to affirm something within you that you feel like if you tell it to me or tell it to someone else, it may not have been me, maybe someone else. You know, it could have shown that you're up to something, you're doing something. So the only reason you're telling me this story is to affirm yourself in this particular point. But most of the times they don't know about it.
Oh.
So even before therapy or anything, I feel like Oba was one of those people would reach out to, this and this is happening, this and this is happening. So we would always have conversations. My husband used to say, "Tandika utandisi gundi wanene dualido." Support for home.
Yes.
And we just talk. So I read energy. Like, you can pretend around me, but I promise you I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I liked that first encounter. At first I was like, oh, how do I break into this? And then as you kept warming up, and then you don't pretend actually, you tell me straight up, yeah, I read energy. I can read, I can tell. That's how I managed, I think, to be part of your cooking class that I found you having. If you hadn't read through, if there's some bad energy, maybe you would have, you're very open.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You're very open. I don't think someone can second guess how you feel about them.
My face. I
don't think.
God.
Yeah. So
The more healed people are, the more the healing spreads.
yes.
I don't know if you understand.
Definitely.
The more people are hurt, the more hurt is going to spread.
Yes.
If you're 15 girls and all your men are treating you like basins, now even even the people who are around you, you will tell them your experience. Even like you even recruit more people. So imagine we are 10 people going through a bad thing with maybe family. We recruit our immediate person. Then the immediate person also recruits another. So you find like there's a whole line.
Plus, hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then sometimes hurt people don't really hurt people when they know what is hurting them.
It is hurting them. So
Yeah, I feel like that's a better space and
That's
a space we really need.
it is. I hope it grows as we go on.
It sure will.
I really hope it does because we're also trying to bring back, like I said, that human interaction.
Yeah, community.
Community. Today we are just in the digital world where hey, I saw Rita's picture on the internet. She looks good. She must be okay. But Rita is behind closed doors crying over
Crying.
something. She's not okay. So when we come out and gather,
The pictures of Take Me Back.
yes, when we come back and gather, yeah, when we come back and gather and talk, and you sometimes come with a friend and you hear them share what they're going through, and you're like, wait, I've been seeing
Yeah.
you. like you
How
don't
come
know.
I didn't
Yes,
notice?
yes. So we're trying to create that. Hopefully, we can touch as many lives as we can.
The fact that it's an activity that really allows people. There's a podcast I was listening to. I'm more into self-help somehow. So I'm not the person who would willingly out of my comfort bed or comfort zone to step out and come in a group of people, yeah? So I am social, but in my space.
Space.
Like we can come here, we talk, we
Yes,
discuss so many things. But me leaving my house to go out there and meet other people, quite difficult. Something maybe I need to hear from and first find out where it came from, probably from my childhood. I know actually where it came from, but still the environment does not allow for
Does
those
not
as
allow.
often.
Yes.
So I would say the podcast I was listening to was saying, instead of us sleeping with our phones or anything, you sleep with a notebook, like your journal or anything.
Yes.
If you're suffering with sleep apnea, bagiyita batya eno gye muteeba keno, insomnia.
Insomnia, yes.
So you just want to empty your head, because give us 5 reasons why you can't sleep.
Because your mind is preoccupied or something.
Yeah? So your brain is overworking, you're preoccupied, so you go on your phone and then you scroll, you consume so much that somehow you do not know. So if you could just empty your head on paper, if someone could just go and paint,
Yes.
yeah, if someone can just go on the guitar or a piano or anything, the mind kind of, even Michelle some time back was talking about crochet.
Yes.
So she sits down to crochet, all her brain, like it lets go of control, and the hands are in control.
Yeah.
This is
You're
what we
not
are doing,
thinking,
this one.
actually.
Yeah.
At that point, you're not thinking.
Yeah.
The only focus you have is
Is on what you're
yes, to make
painting,
sure it
or
comes out well.
yeah, on what
Yes.
you're painting or what you're crocheting or what you're writing. You just pour down
Yes.
everything and then you go the other side. I also do not subscribe to the notion of crying in the bathroom, crying in my room. It doesn't take away the heart.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Speaking out is more safe in a safer space, in a safe space.
True.
But also maybe talking to yourself in the mirror. I feel like one of the best things that happened to me in my 20s is therapy. Like I'm one of those
so
people
happy
who
for
would,
you.
yeah, you better.
Yeah, I'm so happy
Like
for you.
right now, I would give people so much grace, so much grace that I could even see someone struggling with something and blaming everyone else except them. Because I'm one of the people who believe that nothing happens to you without you contributing something.
Of course, it's how you react.
Yeah.
It's how you
So
react
if
what happens to you.
if you're in a situation, what is your role? What are you playing for this situation to continue thriving, for it to continue happening year in, year out? For like, what is your role? Is it that you're staying in the same place? Is it that you're accepting the same behavior? Is it that you're not blocking these people? Is
Boundaries.
like,
You're not setting
what is your
boundaries for
contribution?
yourself.
So
Yes.
those spaces would help people like us. The Gen Z know what to do, I promise. The Gen Z are going to seek the
Your
help.
favorite people.
They are going to call you out on your bad behavior.
Yes.
You're not going to ask them, when do you get married? Like, you have been married, what do you have to show for it? And then you're quiet. You're like, But we still have millennials who are scared of going back to the village because someone's going to ask you, when do you get married? When did it become like a certificate or something of achievement? Why can't I just be without being married? Like, you can believe that.
Yes, yes.
And the fact that you don't actually believe it that deep to stand by it and say, if it's Christmas, I want to go home, I'll go home. If I don't want to go home, I'll not go home, but not beat myself down. Oh, auntie so-and-so will say this. I cannot go home, I'm scared. No. Like, why are you scared?
But also,
Talk
I think,
about it.
Yeah, I think so much happens in our minds.
That we
much
don't
happens-
let it
yes.
out.
So when you come to these spaces like Paint and Chat, we kind of help you
Yeah.
to hear, because you may hear someone. Most times we have people that talk about what they're going through or what they've gone through,
spaces like that are really, really good. And I
Yes.
really appreciate that you have gone a step ahead to change something. You heal first, then you establish a space where we also can come and
Come and
heal.
heal. Yes.
And is that all you do?
So looking at that, me liking to help people as a mental health advocate. I'm a student. I'm a psychology student right now.
Oh, wow.
Actively learning more about psychology.
Good
Hopefully,
job.
I can directly impact people. I can directly help as many people as possible. And right now, of course, like I told you, we only host editions.
Yeah.
So when I'm not at those editions, I have a five. I have a 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5 job as a business development executive at a telemedicine startup, a tech startup that is launching soon in March, where doctors, you'll be able to access doctors through a digital platform. I'll be sharing, of course, on our socials eventually. So that's what I do. Professional, I'm a marketer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, who is working towards maybe more about psychology. But right now, as me, I'm a marketer. Then, yeah, and I'm a full-time deputy mom for my darling siblings.
Well done. Oh, good
Yes,
job.
yes,
So,
yes.
Paint and chat CEO, marketer. Is it marketer, marketeer?
It's a marketer for now.
Okay. Who is a
Yes.
marketeer? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Brenda, one last question. As
Yes.
usual, as always, we are not here for good. We are not here forever. And you know how they say, you live once,
Yes,
you
yes.
actually don't. You like have a whole other. Imagine you're once this tiny, and now here you are,
Yes.
and you're still. Oh my God! You only live once. You only live once. Okay, when the once is done,
Yes.
the dash from when you're born to when you're
To
gone, this
yes.
middle. What do you
Yes.
want those who stay to remember you
Yes.
for?
I want to be remembered as one of the most empathetic people someone has ever
Katukoze
encountered.
segwe.
Yes, I want to be remembered as someone that saved people from themselves,
Yeah.
someone that really, really walked the journey, the mental health journey with the people that know me. Anyone that really, really knows me, I'm like their unpaid therapist.
Oh my God,
So
yeah.
I really, really want to be remembered for that because I looked for that person for so many years. Someone that I could remember like that, someone that
Yeah.
could impact my life like that. And they were not there. So I want to be that person that saved someone's life, that person that saved
A safe
someone's,
space.
yes, like a home in a human form. That's how I want to be remembered.
That was a very nice chat. Parting shot to my viewers.
Most answers are within you. They're in your mind, they're in your heart. Listen to yourself, listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your mind. And if you can't, speak out. I can share our numbers, or you can go to social media and look for Paint and Chat Uganda. We are in touch with very professional therapists. You can always reach out if you cannot handle certain things yourself. You can always reach out. We connect you to the therapist. You never know. You could win one of our sponsorships for the therapy. So listen to yourself. Take care of your mind. Take care of yourself first. The body may need being taken care of, but your mind as well. Watch what you consume. Watch what you let get to your mind. Yeah, and you'll be happy from that.
And just like that, that was the end of this episode. I really hope we look back some time from now and be glad. These were the good old days. We were part of the people that tried to do our best to shape the next generation, to leave a mark on the planet we work or we have worked. I was Rita, and maybe I'll host more of these. Therapists, most therapists are actually millennials, most of them.
Most of them. Yeah,
Most counselors are boomers.
most, Yeah, Oscars are boomers, but they're good. They're good too. You should tap
They are good
into.
because they have experience, of course. Anyone who's speaking from experience, good.
Supposed to be tapped.
Millennials speaking from understanding of how things work, not what is happening or what has
And your
happened.
favorite
And
Gen Z.
I really love Gen Z. I really love Gen Z. I'm about to love betas and alphas, but the Gen Z, you're half my heart. I'll be seeing you soon in the next episode, and hopefully, I can host a therapist on this platform.
You
Hopefully
should.
soon.
You should.
And we get to keep this for another time when we can look back and say those were really the good old days. It was Rita with Brenda. Sorry. It was Rita and Brenda, and we wish you a lovely, lovely life.